6.
You got the red light for when it's dark.
I know.
Look at that.
I want to... No. No. Yeah, I had the red light because I was going to be in tune with the sci-fi theme of
You're doing
this
it.
room.
My go-to is always like a terminal green with black. I like old terminal look.
Love it.
But red is better on your eyes when it's dark.
Very, very cool. Very, very
James
cool.
Pope. How are you, man?
Good,
to see you.
great. Nice to meet you.
You're surviving
Yeah, last day.
here in the Black Hat NOC?
Been here since last Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, the one before. So,
Wow.
yes, surviving.
That's a long time.
You know,
Is that to get everything set up? Okay.
we wanted to wait the last minute possible. I mean, you're probably going to be here longer, but for us, at the end of the show, because we want to hear the goods.
More findings, better stories.
Exactly.
Yeah, but one of the challenges is we got to stand up this network from scratch.
Right.
We bring in ISP, we bring in a firewall, we bring in all the switches, all the access points, we deploy them throughout the entire conference, get it up, make sure it's all working, a bunch of QA testing, and then right to SOC mode. So we call ourselves a NOC because, well, if there's no network, there's nothing to secure.
Right.
So you have guaranteed SOC if you have no internet, but once you have it up and running, then you have to secure it. And then it's all about detections and classrooms and hunting findings.
Right. All the stuff you do at Corelight as well.
Yeah, so for Corelight, especially for a venue like this, like if I said, would you put a cert on your phone to let me inspect your traffic, or would you put an endpoint on there for me for Black Hat? Everybody says no, unfortunately. So for most corporates, that's one of their biggest avenues is an endpoint device. For here, most of ours is related to network traffic.
Right.
And Corelight is our network visibility layer of that. We do have some other bits, like we have EDR on our equipment, obviously we have our switch, our access points, our infrastructure, but for all attendees, all of that, it's all coming from Corelight data.
Nice. And what else is in here?
So these are partners. You can't buy your way in or sponsor your way in. We go pick who we want,
Okay.
and we find the gaps what we need, and we have 3 being trialed right now, but once they make it, then they end up on our list. But our partners is Cisco's doing Umbrella and our file malware analytics. It's like a glove box. And then we have Palo Alto is our firewall. They also have XIM, that's our log aggregator.
Okay.
And then we have Arista's all of our switching and access points. And then Jamf is our MDM.
Okay.
And that's all the registration devices, the iPhone you did your badge on, or when you're going into a briefing room and they scan you, all those, that's protected by Jamf. And then Corelight for the network side. And then we have Lumen as our ISP here.
Okay.
And how many times have you done it here?
2014, 3 shows a year. I don't know which ones got canceled during COVID, but it's been a while. I've done it quite a bit.
All right, so that's my question. I'm always very curious how we get from point A to point B or C, D, E. You know, like, and the biggest change from a technology perspective compared with maybe a few years ago.
Yeah, the biggest change has got to be, it's like everything on the business floor buzzword. AI is shifting things fast.
I could have answered that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot the same.
So what's that mean to you in here?
Yeah,
That means,
exactly.
so for me, my role here at Black Hat NOC is the SOC lead. So I want to make sure people aren't attacking people aren't attacking infrastructure, they're not attacking things on the internet, and the internet's not attacking us. So I have that to make sure we get through,
Okay.
and then we have all the rest of hunting findings, and then try to validate who is it, how do we get in contact with them, how do we let them know that they're leaking stuff out, how do we let that the person who's selling that software know that it's vulnerable and has an issue with it. And so our goal is to try to get to those much faster. Even with AI, even speeding things up, I don't have anybody in here saying, I wish we had more logs to look through.
And being the Black Hat NOC, is that like an extra target on the back?
I don't know if it's an extra target. Anytime you put something on the internet, it becomes a target in general. What we find that's unique is somebody will be doing a presentation on a brand new research of a thing they just released. Like, here's my latest exploit. And within an hour, somebody's lobbing that thing, right? So, whereas
Through your network.
yeah, because they're in the training room and like, oh, that sounds great, right? And they're like, oh, that's really interesting and whatever, and good and bad. We have detection engineers. Like one example, we had a Corelight folk who was in there from our labs research team, Ben, and he was watching a Prezzo, and they were talking about a new thing that dropped for SSH. This was like 2 years ago. And while he was in there, he wrote a detection for it, deployed it on here, deployed it to our Polaris customers external, and started getting hits. Like, so even on the defense side, but offensive side, they're doing the same thing. They're taking something brand new and they're attempting that thing. And then we also have something that's super unique, which is a lot of very malicious things, but they're in an environment that is okay. So if you went to a training class on website or web app attacks, right? You're in there, you're learning how to run these commands, these attacks, these techniques. Those are real attacks. They're going to targets, real targets, but they're part of your training. It's the training's end resource. So we call those a Black Hat positive. That is a true detection that you would not filter out in any corporate environment, but we're going to let it roll here. You are that presenter on stage, and you're talking about your latest thing. Do you want us to kill your demo?
Right.
No.
So do they, for lack of a better term, whitelist that?
Yeah, sometimes we have conversations ahead of time to have things approved. Like we have one that went on this morning about a robot that they were doing stuff through Wi-Fi to run attacks on, and we set them up a separate VLAN and got them carved out. And so sometimes it just depends on what their needs are. And yeah, we typically won't go shut down. We do a lot of informing. It's like a good example today is I went down to the trade show floor and let somebody know they had Team PCP command and control on their machine. They showed up with it, it's on your machine, but I'm not their boss, I don't work for them, right. And so they can just continue to do that. Whereas in corporate, you'd be like, give me that laptop, right? In this scenario, it's like, hey, just want you to know, if it was me, I would not turn it on the internet anymore, I'd leave it off, and I would, here, we gave them a bunch of logs to give to their IT and security team, but what we don't block it and stop it, because it's their choice. Maybe it is a demo, maybe it's a malware lab, maybe it's something like that. So those core things I was talking about, that's what we want to stop. Attacking other people, internet, in and out. People, every so often, per show, for sure, a handful of times, we got to open a room and say, knock it off. Illegal is still illegal at Black Hat. And we do have a little bit of luxuries, most of the time they do. Because they are paying money to be here, and typically don't want to get kicked out. Very few times we have to pin them down or bust out the directional antennas and track them through the venue. And when we do, then it escalates code of conduct, stuff like that.
I mean, what is the criteria that you apply right away to kind of judge if it's a good for good or a bad for bad, or if it's a fake attack?
Yeah, fair enough. It's easier on trainings than Gen Wi-Fi just because of number of pool of people, but some of these trainings have 100 plus people in it. So one of the things we do is we started with ML, but everything's just calling it AI now, but essentially you take that classroom and you baseline it. Right? So this is what the normal, say it's 100 students. 70 of them are doing these attacks. There's one over here, an outlier. Let's go look at that one. And sometimes it's nothing. It's the trainer at lunch break doing their lab for the next day, trying to make sure it works. Sometimes it's their TA on TikTok doing something else. And sometimes it's somebody attacking a police precinct from the class. And so those outliers is what we focus our time on instead of all of it. If all of these people in the same room are attacking the same destination, your probability is much more likely that that is a sanctioned thing for that class. We also bring in the entire curriculum for that class, and then we match the attack against the curriculum. And this is all done by AI. That doesn't take too long.
I was going to say, how you getting that far?
Yeah, there's a JSON file. We yank it. Here's a curriculum. AI looks at it. There's multiple gates. Is this a class? Yes. Are multiple sources going to the same destination? Sometimes they have multiple labs, Azure, GCP, AWS, whatever it might be. And then, so we're going through these gates. Does it have this? Does it have that? And then here's the curriculum. Does this attack would be expected to be taught in that curriculum? Clears that gate with thinking process, comes back and is like, nah, you should probably look at that. Or, hey, listen, a web shell attack in a web app attacking class, probably sanctioned.
And how do you put together this team?
A lot of years, a lot of effort. We have our partners, right, the ones we just covered, and then we have TAs, technical associates. These are folks who are here that we bring in for Black Hat, and they help us deploy APs for setup, help us collect them at the end. They help troubleshoot Wi-Fi throughout the venue, and they help us hunt through SOC operations. Those are typically like people who are really good at what they do, and we pick them, and we have a lot of people like, hey, how do I get in there? How do I do that? One of the downsides for them is most of the people come back year after year after year. And so when a seat opens up, there's usually like, Grifter will be like, oh, this person's coming in, or Bart will have somebody, or this year I was able to bring 2 people in that I knew. So it just depends. Like this year we had some open slots, mainly because we opened the Outpost downstairs, which we can chat about now or later what you want.
Let's hear about that.
First year we've ever done it. My goal has always been, how do I get more educational? Because we have this NOC, right? They come in the front, They see this area, lots of tours happening, they go out the side, but on the door says restricted access. There's a security guard there, they don't let them in. And it's hard to be educational in that space where you can go out there and talk about things, but nobody gets to play. You're pointing at dashboards explaining, but it's different. Yeah. So downstairs, first year, we open these doors and we call it the Outpost. And instead of having access restricted, I think a sign above it says access granted or something, like come on in. And inside of it, we have real network logs from Corelight at Black Hat from this show,
like
feeding that machine. The sensor can export to multiple places. It's actually going to an S3 bucket, and then we have an app pulling from that. But real logs from there, and you can go sit down and you can query Black Hat logs with text to SQL. So you can be like, tell me about my IP, and it will tell you. We have a lot of guardrails in there, application guardrails, LM guardrails. We even have a kill switch that it escaped on Monday, and it got hit 3 times on Monday. And then I fixed the code, and it so far has not been hit again yet, but I'm sure somebody will challenge that. And so like if it finds that it missed all the guardrails and tries to give a secret or a token or post body or something it shouldn't, it kills it off. But down there's a teaching, learning environment, lets you actually put hands on. If you're a SOC analyst and you do this every day, you might not want to do that. That's just going to feel like work.
Right.
But if you've never done that before, that might be a great environment to learn. There's even some guided threat hunts that are in there that are synthetic, but they're based on real stories, including there's one in there called MCP in the clear. That happened this show, and it's already in there. You can walk through it.
That's really cool.
You gonna go, Marco? You gonna look for your IP?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. No, tell me a little bit about what this all screen do.
Yeah, so you have, in some scenarios, you have, these screens are meant for CISOs and KPIs. In here, what I'm looking at, I need them to tell me something that's impactful or useful, right? So from an Arista standpoint, tell me when my switch backhaul is getting maxed out, when one of these APs is hitting its limit, when something is reaching a point, my upload, download is exceeding. So I want them to be very functional to help me make decisions quickly at a glance. So that's that one. Jamf on that side is how many devices are protected, how many we seeing, have anybody walked off site, has anybody taken them and disappeared, things like that. And then on the Palo side, these are the number of incidents I have coming in. Here's how many we're auto-closing. If I'm watching everything every SOC manager wants or CISO, here's my mean time to resolution, and am I watching that number get greater than X%, then I need to get on people and be like, we got to go faster, do more, close things out. Corelight side, we want to know the health of that traffic, make sure everything's going good, a bunch of detections, and then we also have to be, we have a little uniqueness here too, is we have some really amazing dashboards that I can't put up because people have Zoom cameras, and that's a glass wall.
Yeah.
There's things.
Let's show the Corelight. It's right behind you. Yeah. That's the one. Right
yeah.
there.
So these are tuned to what we want. This is like by classroom, by alerts. This is our network health, which is super important to make sure. If you don't have good network health, then your alerts don't matter, right? So it's kind of a prereq, and it's going to take a minute to roll. So we might as well jump to the next one. On the Cisco side, we have their file analysis. We have their MDM and their, that's Jamf MDM. And then we have their DNS. They're doing all the DNS across the environment. So everything that you're doing is routing through them, so we are able to see that, look it up, see what they go to. Yeah, Corelight side, we're watching the devices. You can see lunch breaks. You can see when the day ends. It's pretty spiky. Like, oh, the day's over. Oh, okay, here's traffic. Oh, here's lunch. Here it comes back. People jumping on and off the network. We're tracking classroom by number of alerts, and there's always a classroom that's like 40,000 alerts for a 2-4 day training, because the entire class is just lobbing attacks. That's all they're doing. Attack, attack, attack.
Having fun.
But on the Corelight side, there's stuff that we can't show. We have this thing called agentic triage. Everything has AI in it, right? But on the agentic triage, we have a Lux where it takes our alerts, puts them into detections, takes the detection, stitches them into a timeline. This thing happened, then this thing happened, then this thing happened. Way more confidence that you should deal with that versus here's an alert, is it a false positive or not? Here's a stack of alerts, is it a false positive or not? And then the thing that I enjoy, because I really like AI, but I also made a lot of systems, I even trained models, and I don't just trust it, because sometimes I even mess it up, or system prompts, user prompts, whatever. They can hallucinate and do wild stuff. So don't just trust me, bro. You can go all the way down to the raw logs and validate that indeed that is accurate. The AI is not hallucinating that aspect.
It's a good thing to do.
I think it has to be required. Like if you don't have that, it's too sketch right now. Maybe in the future, but for that 20% of AI just deciding, deterministic versus non-deterministic, and especially if they have reinforcement learning and they're growing, that can be super advantageous. but also can cause agent drift. And agent drift can give you undesired results.
So who do you report to?
I report to Barton Grifter.
But the
Oh, at the
NOC,
Black Hat side?
Well, yeah, the
Yeah.
NOC. Like who you're responsible, you the team are responsible for this, and what's success look like?
Success looks like
How do they measure?
no compromise on registration, no switches, no access points, no attacks to the internet that are going long enough. Legal is not getting involved. Police precincts aren't getting involved. Those do happen. I'd still some of those are success. Some are out of my control because people do dumb stuff, and sometimes it has to escalate. And then we're leaving people better than they got here. People are coming infected. We're letting them know.
Give me a juicy story, even not just from this year.
Oh, I got a really good.
That really like I can't even believe it.
Black Hat Asia, last show. We on the network traffic from a Corelight sensor, we see they have a double rat infection. It was a single APT. The double part is one was for exfil channel, one was for C2. But there's two pieces of malware on the box, so double rat infection, right? And normally the goal is try to contact them, let them know, get them remediated like that team PCP. In this case, I was able to pull more on their traffic with AI to a point where I was able to identify that their reporter, this might hit home for you, their reporter, what region they're based out of, and what company they work for. We then used open source intel and said, who from this company is likely covering APAC? And it came up with a single name. We then walked over registration and said, is this person here? Yes. Do they work for this company? Yes. Can you contact them and ask them to come see us in the NOC? And it's about a potential issue with their machine. The guy did come up. He thought we were giving him a demo or something. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to give me a demo. And I said, I really.
All excited.
I said, no, he didn't want the demo. I said, I really wish I was trying to give you a demo right now. Yeah. Unfortunately, well, first I wanted to validate. Is this your machine? Is this who you are? Like, we tied them all together. And I was like, well, your machine is definitely beaconing out to known malicious actors right now, consistently. And the moment you connect to the network, it started. So you showed up that way.
Right.
And the cool thing was we were able to get on with his IT or security team, have this conversation in there in the NOC. He factory reset his laptop with us and them remote, got all of his credential sessions revoked, his passwords changed. And so he went from having a compromise on a machine for whatever reason, whether they wanted his stories or whatever that information, or maybe to the company, I don't know. I don't know how long it's been there either.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But he came from that state and he left in a secured state. Wow. There's my best juicy story about that.
That's cool. Pretty cool.
And maybe it hits close to home with you guys.
It does.
People are after reporters.
Yeah.
I know. I try to be careful. I wonder if I'm in the logs.
Join the Wi-Fi. We'll let you know if you're beaconing out.
Yeah.
A lot of people say like, oh, it's so scary.
I'm good because I have joined it. So.
Okay. A lot of people say, oh, it's so scary. Why would I join the network that the NOC? And I don't know, in their head, they see it as like this active thing, like we're attacking them for something. Right. It's like, this is all passive network traffic. This is the same thing that would happen if you're on hotel Wi-Fi, right. You're on conference Wi-Fi, you're at your coffee shop, your Starbucks, your McDonald's, or whatever it might be. Like any of those Wi-Fis you're on, that network traffic is there. We're just letting you know, right? Like, hey, maybe you don't want to have a command and control going to Team PCP.
Wow, this is fascinating.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where are you off to next?
Our next conference?
Yeah.
We do supercomputing conference.
Okay.
And it's coming up here in a few months, and that one's just wild because it's all supercomputers, and we push 400 gigs of throughput a second, so like it's a whole nother level of weirdness. So that one, and then Black Hat Europe is end of the year.
Nice. The final question, unless you have something else.
Go for it.
The learnings from here help shape what you do at Corelight?
Yeah.
And do you have conversations with customers that say, this is what we've seen, here's some information that's probably worthwhile?
Yeah, this is true for Corelight, it's true for everybody. We build integrations with each other here that turn into real integrations for our customers. Because customers aren't just picking, I'm only this shop or this. They're trying to get the right things to solve their issues with their company. And we have joint customers with almost all of these. So our integrations, we're doing that. Those are usually leading into our product. And then same thing, like the things we're learning and doing, like the stuff I didn't talk about, like I have an entire agentic SOC app with judging and systems and promotions and self-learning skills and a whole bunch of stuff that parts of that hopefully will end up being influenced, run through evals, but we can use them on real data, validate real things, tie them to a thing that a lot of people are jealous of, which is, here was the start of the hunt where the threat hunter did. I can start agents doing the same thing. I can see their conclusion, and then I can optimize for that conclusion. Having the data and knowing what good looks like, immensely important. You're missing one of those, it becomes a challenge. So we are absolutely moving on a bunch of stuff fast that, you're trying to say, how does this impact customers, where does it fit? And yeah, we're feeding all of that back. Any lessons learned, we dog food our own stuff. Like, we put our own sensors in, we're running them. Any issues with ease of use or whatever, we roll that back. Hey, this should be doing this and this, and they're taking that feedback, they're improving it, and pretty much everybody in this NOC is doing some version of that.
Yeah, it's like doing an extreme activity like high-tech Formula One or going to the space, and then you reach the limit of what you can actually do, and then you trickle it to commercial solution. It's kind of like that.
Freeze-dried ice cream.
Yeah, but also super, so I have a Slack bot that's doing a whole bunch of agentic things for here. In a normal situation, I would want to baseline that for, say, 2-3 weeks to a month. I don't have that luxury. I can't baseline what normal looks like. So I'm doing hourly sweeps with judging panels to promote, and when it fails, it sends me a Slack, and I can, or like, Claude disputed with GPT, and so I have to review it. If they all agree, it self-promotes. In a real org, I'm letting that go much longer, and I have much more HITL, more human in the loop validating those promotions and steps, but I don't have that choice. So I let it auto do it for these conditions and these gates, and then it goes back to the past day's data and sees, did it regress? And if it did, it back rolls. So like those type of things where the answer is yes. The Formula One part is like, I don't have a lot of time. I got 4 days. Like, A, I got to stand up on the entire network, and then B, we got to like defend it and go. And constantly I'm getting pinged, like, go to this room and tell these people. They're compromised, and it's kind of a rough conversation.
Fix it as you go.
Move fast, have graceful fallbacks, and then ways to advance as quick as you can. Yeah.
It's really cool. Well, this was fantastic.
Yeah,
great
cool.
opportunity. Thank you for doing this. Thank you to Corelight to invite us to do this.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you, and hope you guys had a great show, and hope to see you next year.
Yeah, I'll check my computer.
Okay, give me your IP address. I'll check it out.
The show.
Let's do it.
Close this out with a bang.
No, depends what kind of bang.
Yeah. No, we don't want that, right?
All right, well, if this interests you, connect with James and the Corelight team and some of the other partners here, and have some fun here at Black Hat. Thanks, everybody.
And this was all for us as well. This is our last recording.
I know.
So I want to take the opportunity to thank everybody for following us, and we'll do it again next year.
Absolutely.
Right here. Maybe we'll visit you again next year.
Come on by. I'll be here.
Right, love it.
I gotta find Grifter and give him a hug.
Oh yeah, we gotta find Grifter.
He was just there.
Just there.
He vortexed. That's what they call it at DEF CON.
All right, Grifter, virtual hug. How's that?
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yep.
It's nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I don't walk off your mic, because I did that on somebody else.
You've been stepping on this the whole time.
Oh, have you?
Oh, no, running.
You guys are tethered together.